All right. Hey,
Okay.
hey,
Hey.
hey.
Oh, hi.
Where did you come from? Hey, everybody. So, fourth week. So obviously we're still doing it. Um, let's just start with how we always do. How was your week?
I had a good week.
Okay.
I feel like, yeah, everything uh went well just in terms of getting back on every other day fasting,
Yeah.
sticking to keto, and so that feels good.
Right.
And it's not like the week before was tragically bad.
For me it was, but I mean,
Well, you were
and
traveling,
yeah, in
which is a
hindsight,
little bit
the
harder.
week was fine with the
For
diet.
me, yeah,
Yeah.
it was really just uh getting off of the fasting routine
All right.
during that week,
Mhm.
having more eating days, but yeah, back on track this week. What about you?
Same. And did you know what your numbers look like? You know how much you lost or anything?
I haven't calculated that out. I know that, but I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to say, I don't know, probably in total, I've kind of been going up and down. And I want to say I'm about 8 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah. She says with a question mark.
Overall, you've done it.
Overall. Oh,
Overall.
not
Okay.
this week. Oh my God, but that would be amazing,
Yeah, it would.
wouldn't it?
I know. I know. I did measure mine. I'm down about 4 pounds for the week. And so today's Friday, by the way. And if you remember when we talked about this initially, and also it's the weather's warmed up and we have our table back. So I kind of like this location for the podcast. So
Plants are back outside.
plants are back outside. And Susie's giving us the eyeball in the background. So, but so anyway, I measure, I'm down about 4 pounds, Friday to Friday. Uh, and I'm down about 8 pounds, 8.5 about total. So we're 1 month in.
Right.
Yeah. And this week, just like you said, this week was a good week because we did every other day fasting.
Yes.
Yeah, and we were actually successful at doing every other day fasting. A couple goals I set last week was uh, I wanted to obviously get back on it. Plus, we wanted to exercise. We ran 1 week or one
Oh,
day.
we
We
did.
yeah we
Yeah.
did we ran one day and we walked 4 days. We did oh I'm sorry, 3 long walk. God, let me get it right here. One run,
Get that down
one
right.
run, and it was a 5K, and we did 3 long walks. So that was good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really good.
yeah.
And we say a long walk, it's of what, about 4 miles?
3 miles,
Three miles.
yeah, three
Yeah.
miles. I mean, we just walked around the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and we did have rain this week, and that's not a big deal. But it actually kind of like that's something that makes it kind of nice, and the weather warmed up,
Yeah.
so it makes it a little bit better.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
overall, it was a
Good week.
successful month. Yeah, and a great
And yeah,
a good week, and like I said, I managed to kind of work around the I'm getting back on it. So that was
yeah.
nice. It was weird. I mean, the whole Atlanta trip thing, like I mentioned last week, and not that I don't want to like just, you know, totally, get all wrapped around that,
Hmm.
but it just was weird because I gained a whole lot and I didn't like immediately like lose it again. Like you would think, oh, now that I've not,
It's this water weight.
it's
It'll
water
come
weight.
right
No,
off. We
it
give it
it
two
it
days and
it
it'll
didn't
be
do that at all. It
gone.
was just like I was back fasting, so it's almost like I just regained it. So that was frustrating. I'll probably
Yeah.
say where I haven't succeeded is I try to cut back on alcohol, but uh, but I've had a few drinks.
Ditto.
Yeah, cutting back on alcohol is hard because we usually do have like and before you all start arranging an intervention, just pump the brakes. It's not like we're out there. I mean, we might have like a
Right.
when we fast and today and again today is a fasting day. So and we were talking about Melanie and I were talking about this a couple of days ago, or maybe it was this morning. I can't remember, but we usually feel pretty good on a fasting day. We actually feel like, oh, you know what? I mean, I'm telling you,
Focused,
yeah,
a little more.
anybody out
Yeah.
there that's like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if I could fast. Uh, I promise, like once you start like getting into the routine and you just kind of accept what it is and so forth,
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie to you and say you don't get hungry. Of course, I'm sitting here, I'm a little bit hungry right now, a little
Me
bit.
too.
But yeah, but I'm not, and if I get like one of those
But
like
it's not
yeah, if I get like a
anything that
wave, yeah,
won't subside.
it
It's not,
will. You get a
yeah.
wave of like, oh my gosh, I'm really starving. Like, you accidentally see a commercial for like a Wendy's or McDonald's or something like that, and you get that wave of, oh my gosh, I really want to eat that.
Yeah.
Just give it a minute, it'll go away. Obviously, I'm
Yeah, I was gonna say
drinking
we
water.
have
Yeah,
water
uh,
nearby and
I didn't bring any over, but when we have kind of like pivoted over to like decaf coffee in the evening if we wanted. I'm trying to cut back on caffeinated coffee. I love coffee, but I'm only having like a two cups of coffee with caffeine in the morning, and then I pivot over to decaf,
yeah.
and so things like that will kind of suppress the appetite. And I know there's people out there that are like, oh my gosh, if you're gonna fast, it could be nothing but like lukewarm water or whatever. That's not the way we are. I mean, it really, honestly, the fasting is just
Yeah.
a massive calorie cut. So there are some calories that go in, but we're talking maybe 200 or 250 a day. For me, Melanie's probably less. But we drink water, and I can't drink too much because if I drink too much, I'm up all night.
Yes.
But then we also get some elements, and I'll show you guys elements next time if you're not familiar with them. But it's a drink which has got like a higher sodium, and we can talk about that if you want. But the whole thing with sodium is that some people don't think it's as bad as everybody makes it out to be. So it's kind of salty. And we get watermelon, grapefruit, and lime, and the lime cold tastes like a margarita. So back on alcohol.
Just saying.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it
Yeah,
really is.
they're
And
very good.
so one of those will mix up with about 20 ounces of water with ice, and they're really good. So I will talk about that next time. Uh, so while fasting, how's your energy levels been?
Not bad.
Hmm.
I feel like, especially in the morning, and I think that's kind of with everybody, right?
Uh-huh.
Whether you're fasting or not, but you're gonna have a little more energy. I feel like today I'm kind of experiencing kind of a dip
Yeah,
in energy because it's what, 5, almost 6 o'clock here.
yeah, about 6 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so I'll probably kind of start perking back up. It seems like I kind of catch a second
Hmm.
wind, a little bit
Well, it's funny because
into the evening. It
I
depends.
will tell you when you fast, you're like waiting for bedtime.
That's right.
You're like waiting for bedtime. I mean,
It's like, can I go to bed at 8:30?
and
That'd be
and, and
great.
again, you may think, "Oh, there's no way I'm going to get to sleep because I'm so hungry." Nah, you'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's right.
yeah. But so energy is kind of, but overall, when fasting, energy,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
don't just want to lay on the floor and just
yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
veg out. It's fine.
Any struggles or anything like that you had over the last month? Anything that you're like, I mean, I'm trying to think of myself other than what we've already talked
I
about.
know, I know. I think part of the struggle is just like initially, and I think that's maybe starting to subside now, is on the day that you're eating, not to go crazy with
Hmm.
eating,
Right.
right? Like, ooh, I'm gonna eat breakfast and lunch and
Hmm.
snacks and dinner and,
Right.
I mean, you can, but overeating, I
Right.
guess is what I'm
Yeah,
trying to get at is,
sure.
you know,
Because yeah, it's like you feel
you
like you're,
want to kind of compensate
yeah.
because you haven't been eating and then you're not going to eat the next day. So you're just kind of like,
Well,
you
yeah.
have to fight the urge to just keep shoveling it in.
Yeah, and our keto hasn't been great, right? I mean, our
Oh, do
keto.
you feel like it's not? I think
Well,
it's been okay.
oh, really? We went to visit family last, and we
Oh,
freaking,
well, you're
yeah,
right. That
yeah,
faltered. But I mean,
yeah.
that's one day out of
And
the
well,
week.
okay. So when I say great, when you think great keto, right? When I'm thinking of great keto is like my carbs. I know for a fact my carbs are below like 20 grams of carbs and
Hmm.
everything like that.
Hmm.
And we've never like since we started this, we because we've done this a bunch, we kind of know what food we can put in, and uh we know what food we can put in and where we'll be,
Right.
but carbs add up. So we really haven't been monitoring carbs that well. Uh, so uh, so anyway, uh, but that's kind of what I mean is that we haven't been that great. And another thing too, another struggle I've had, like again, the trip is part of this, which I basically have obviously over focused on. But even like having friends and so forth over will cause you some heartache. You know what I mean? We had to pause it for a second because we have dogs and they were so they're,
Demanding
they're so
something.
spoiled, man. It's insane. They don't care.
Oh,
And so anyway,
what a
we're
mess.
shoving. I mean, they're not doing keto anyway. So I forgot where we left off. But I
They're
think
doing snacks.
yeah, I think we're talking about like again when you get distracted by like we've had visitors come in from out of town and all that, and and it's just hard because you don't want to like force your junk off on them, and so you end up
That's
doing
right.
you end up doing stuff and
And I think too, we're a little out of practice in that regard.
yeah.
So
Yeah. So anyway, but I would say overall, those are the kind of struggles. But if overall, it's a successful month. I think there's a lot of people that don't get anywhere. There's like a quit day. We haven't quit. We're still doing our thing.
yeah,
So that's nice.
yeah.
Uh, going forward, what's
Yeah.
next month look like for you?
Well, I think next month looks good. I mean, the one kind of snag,
Yeah.
really, but Valentine's Day is in February, so
Oh, really? That's a snag? I mean, we don't, well, I mean, you
well,
think we
I
want to
like
go out?
chocolate.
Well,
I like candy.
I proposed on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so it's nice to do something,
Right.
kind of special.
We
But
can go for a run.
hey, we can. We
Yeah.
can. That's a good one. That's a
We'll
good one.
map something out. We'll make it like a little heart-shaped run through the neighborhoods.
Oh, I love it.
I'm
What a
not
romantic.
gonna do that.
I
So, all right. Yeah,
think that would be cute because
yeah,
Norman would actually
it
join
would do
it. That'd
that.
be cool.
I know,
I
but
think we
that'd
should
be
do that.
that okay. That would be a big run. That would be a very big run.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I think we're gonna try to exercise more. That's my goal is to maybe exercise more.
Agreed. Yes.
And
We're
if
gaining a little momentum.
yeah, and if the weight loss doesn't really pick up, I'm gonna probably get a little bit more diligent
Right.
with the ins and outs. Because the point you made before the dogs started doing their things, which I completely agree with, is the weekends. We do Monday, Wednesday, Friday fasting. Things seem to go quite well. Then you get into the weekends, and you're almost trying to make up for the food you haven't eaten, and that's not the right answer. And so you end up, and even though you may not think you're eating that much, I guess you eat a lot, so you're really kind of sabotaging your progress. So
Hmm.
I may try to address that. I really, really don't want to get to the point where I'm weighing my food and everything like that. I'm hoping that we can just kind of, because you just can't keep that up.
I know
Yeah,
it's an added layer. I
yeah,
mean, if we are not seeing any results,
right.
then you
That's something.
start doing those things
Uh-huh,
to
uh-huh.
kind of figure out where you're failing
Yeah,
or faltering,
right.
But but I will say also like this past week with coming off of the fast day into an eating day, I felt like I could go longer.
Yeah,
Like I didn't have to immediately eat breakfast.
mhm,
I just kind of skipped breakfast. It
right,
didn't bother me. Had some coffee and then ate
right.
later in the day.
And I was talking to my brother he's pretty well versed in a lot of what we're doing here. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are fasting a lot. Maybe that's not such a great idea." Understand that we realize that this is not a lifelong thing. We really do realize
Right,
that. I mean, this is more
right.
keto focused, this podcast versus fasting. Fasting is part of this. We have weight to lose.
Yeah.
How much weight do you want to lose?
I'd like to lose 40 pounds.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm around. I'm in that ballpark. I'm about 40 pounds too. So give or take, right? I don't know. It depends on where I am today right now. But with that said, once we kind of attain that, I mean, we're kind of we'll move through different things like, focusing on getting in shape, the diet as because maintaining is what everybody struggles with.
Definitely.
Yeah,
We've
so
struggled with that, obviously.
so right now this is almost like a fasting website, discussion every time we log in.
I
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
But it's because we're doing both, right?
yeah.
And you know,
Pat,
fasting, doing, every other day is kind of
yeah.
something that's newish
Yeah.
to us.
And so we've been doing finger sticks too, right?
Yes,
Tell me
we
about
have.
that.
Actually,
And what are we looking at when we do finger sticks?
so what we're looking at is because we'll do the finger stick and then there are two strips that go into the computer. And
I'll show you that soon too if you'd like.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. I think it's cool.
it is.
Um, it's quick and it's easy, and it'll show you your ketones that are in your body at the time, what level you're at, and then also your glucose. So those are really good to give you an indication of where you are within ketosis.
Especially ketosis.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
especially ketones.
Yeah. So it's cool. And we've done, I guess, maybe 2 or 3 finger sticks
Mhm.
this week.
Mhm.
And I think that all of those have been coming off of the fast, that the next day. And for me, I had a couple that were like the ketones were okay, like registering about 1 or a little under
Yeah.
1. What is that? What is the
I
measurement?
don't know. I have to go back and look. I don't know if it's like 1 microgram per deciliter or
Something
something
like
like that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have no idea, but
we'll
it's
share
like
that
that.
with
Yeah.
you.
Sure. It was
Whatever the
one.
measurement
It was
is,
one. It was like a
you want to be
1.0.
between
You want,
what
yeah.
is it?
Oh, you want,
0.8 and
oh, I don't know. I
3.
just think you want to, I mean, if you have ketones, then you have, uh, then, you're good. I mean, even if
Yeah.
it's like a 0.4, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
You want to see ketones show up, register, and that's always good. And then the range for glucose
Yeah.
is like,
Oh, no, you want to have be below 100.
yeah, below 100.
Yeah.
There you
That, I
go.
mean, well,
Yeah,
that's the thing for diabetes, right? Is like around
have
100.
it 100.
Fasting. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a couple where I was just over 100, which that
Olive.
was a little bit, that was new for me.
Right.
Mine were usually always under. But the third one that I did just a couple of days ago was under
Yeah,
100.
and some of that may had to do some of that may have had to do with when we were doing it for
The
you because we were
timing.
doing it in the morning and
Yeah.
there's a spike sometimes you'll see in the morning. We know about that.
Yeah.
But when you did it later after I think you did
It was
something.
about
You had
noon.
done like a walk or something like that though,
Yeah.
and her total ketos were like 2.8 and
Yeah.
her
Which is high.
very
I mean, it's
high.
good,
Yeah.
but it was higher.
Maybe I don't know. There's plenty of podcasts out there to tell you kind of the concepts behind all right, we had to stop again because the dogs are like all crazy. Now they're in the bedroom. So,
Yeah, they've been
so
put up.
I think what we're talking about because it took a minute to get them all corralled, but I think we're talking about ketones and the whole purpose of the diet anyway is to, oh no, that's what I was saying was there's all kinds of videos out there that'll tell you like, how it works and so forth and how you're transitioning from carbs over to a different type of fuel and whatnot. But having the ketones in your system is just an indication that you're using ketones as fuel, or
Right.
you're not using carbohydrates as your primary fuel, your primary fuel source. And I think even if you have just a little bit, that's still significant because you're doing it, it's working, right?
Right.
But with all that said, your body you can't go into ketosis and just like eat like there's no tomorrow. You just
That's
have to,
right.
yeah. So anyway, with that said, we've probably been talking too long anyway.
Like blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah. Hey, you watch it, enjoy it, maybe learn something from it. We'll get.
I know. I think
We're working this down. We're getting this good. Okay, so a couple things. Okay. First, I do.
yes.
I promise I share these. Okay, so these are tortillas. Okay, and of course they sell them here in Texas because Texas tortillas. These are 1 carb per serving. I think they're like 35 calories for tortilla. Their mission and man, they're really good. Okay, I mean like so.
They are
Just,
very good.
so like let's say you want three tacos or something like that. Though it's really easy to do tacos. Breakfast tacos, awesome. Definitely.
What's the carb count per
Carb count
tortilla?
one
Yeah.
gram per one net carb. And what that means is like a big chunk of these are fibers. So they may be like 15 grams of fiber, 16 grams of are how is that? Like 15 grams of fiber, only 1 gram of the whole thing is carb
carb.
that your body would utilize as a carb because your body can't do anything with fiber. It just passes right through you. And I haven't had any GI upset with this or anything like that, though. It's like some people might say, that they have GI upset. Not at all.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I would tell you, I would have a hard time telling the difference between this and a regular tortilla. Now, again, fresh handmade tortillas, Yes,
different.
different.
But
But
it's like a
store
tortilla
bought
like this off
tortilla,
the shelf.
yeah, totally fine.
Yeah,
And the other
sure.
one is like this is the bread that we use, Nature's Own. These are nice fluffy slices of bread. They'll grill like grilled. You can make grilled cheese with them. So we can
Yes.
do like a sandwich if you're just looking for something to fill the gap.
Yeah.
Awesome. Again, 1 gram per serving, but one slice is a serving. So if you make a sandwich, 2 slices, 2 grams. And so, and I kind of mentioned earlier about the whole carb things, how carbs will add up. Let's say, for example, you make a sandwich. Obviously, meat has no carbs. Mayo, I don't think has any carbs. If it does, it's very, very low. Mustard doesn't have any carbs.
Right.
But if you start putting things like lettuce, tomato, those types of things on there, even cheese has a few carbs. So you end up a sandwich might end up being like that you really focus on not making it a carb laden, might still have 5 or 6 grams of carbs. So
Yeah.
they will add up if you're looking to keep your carbs below like 20. But
Yeah.
this is
If you're eating 3 to 5
yeah,
sandwiches.
yeah. Well, I will tell you also with this, unlike the tortillas, like this, like I said before, has that fiber smell. It's not terrible, and when you toast it and everything like that, though,
Yeah.
it's fine. Texture wise, it's just a little bit. I mean,
Very minimal.
very minimal. Because I
It's not off-putting.
yeah,
It's fine.
and both those products are a little bit more expensive compared to
Right.
their carb-laden counterparts, but still worth it for us. And I know some people will be wanting to do like almost like a paleo or very clean keto. That wouldn't be that.
That's right.
But they're really good. They're really good, and you can do it without blasting your ketones
Right.
out of the water.
Yeah.
So
So it's good.
yeah. So definitely will share that with you. That's a good thing that you can use. And
Yeah.
again, just like everything, you can't go crazy with it. But like the tortillas, like tomorrow we're breaking our fast, and I will straight up make tacos with those for if we break the fast tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And so okay, so that and so kind of just finishing up here. My goals for the next month are going to be increase exercise, maintain the
Yeah.
diet, and figure out a strategy for struggling with distractions if I need to. And also, I may end up adding a little bit more fasting. I didn't mention that, but I think I might fast on Sunday too. And uh, if I have to start being a little bit more diligent about my ins and outs. Yep.
Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, I think I'm similar. I definitely want to continue adding in additional exercise throughout the week.
Mhm.
And then, stick with the diet, of course, with the fasting and with the keto. Um, yeah, and I think that's good. Just
Cool.
keep it
Keep,
even.
keep it real.
Keep it real. Or fake.
It doesn't matter. So,
As long as you keep it keto.
all right. Well, hopefully we'll see everybody. So this is Friday. We'll see everybody
That's
next
right.
Thursday or Friday. If you're doing it, best of luck. If you got
Good luck.
questions, post them in the comment below. And I would love to, it doesn't even have to be questions. If you just want to chat, I think you can probably just message us and it shows up in my email and we like the interaction. So and
Yes.
everybody likes to know that there's other people on the same journey they're on.
That's
So,
right.
all right. Everybody have a great journey and we'll talk soon.
Bye.